Hello and welcome to Watch Releases Recap for the week of November 15th until November the 22nd. Let's begin with the new Zenith Defy Skyline CX edition. Collective Horology has launched in 2018, and since then they have collaborated with quite a few different brands to create these limited edition watches. For 2024, they're collaborating with Zenith and creating this limited edition monochromatic Zenith Defy Skyline. This version is of course based on the standard Skyline edition with a few different changes. The most notably, of course, the design of this watch. It is very monochromatic except for a few pops of orange. You have the 10 highlighted on the subdial in orange as well as the tip of the second hand. Now, a few interesting details about this watch specifically. Number one, it's actually featuring a sandblasted case finish, which is sort of unusual. For Zenith, usually these watches have a brushed finish, and I actually think that sandblasted finish looks really sharp with this design. Secondly, the dial is kind of interesting because, as you can see, it features these sort of grooves of the crosses. The closer you get to the center, the deeper these grooves are. As you sort of fan out from the center of the dial, the grooves get more shallow and shallow until they sort of disappear altogether. I think that's a very interesting design choice and it works quite well for this watch. The writing is also minimal. You just have the Zenith logo by the 12 o'clock position, and that's pretty much it. There's also the subdial by the 6 o'clock position, and that is the running seconds hand. But what's unique about this specific seconds hand, that it goes around the dial every 10 seconds. That's why you have the 10 on this subdial. Not a very useful complication. I guess the only use for it is the fact that you can track whether the watch is ticking or not. As far as the case goes, it's made out of stainless steel. It features a 41mm diameter. These watches are quite thin, 12.5mm in case height, and it's about 47mm from one lug to another, including those sort of protruding integrated bracelet angles, as well as the protruding integrated rubber strap. This watch comes with both. It has 100 meters of water resistance, and this one is powered by the Zenith El Primero 3620 caliber movement. It's an automatic movement beating at 36,000 vibrations per hour or 5 Hertz, which is super impressive. The smooth sweep of the seconds hand is unlike anything else. It also has 60 hours of power reserve and 35 joules. This will be a limited edition to only 200 pieces sold through Collective Horology website or through the Zenith online boutique website, and this is quite an expensive watch, priced at 12,900 euro. The new Tag Heuer Monaco Chronograph Skeleton Las Vegas edition. It's another version of their skeletonized watch. I actually quite like this version of the watch. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think the skeletonized version for the Monaco kind of works, and I understand that Tag Heuer has to do new things with this model because the standard version just looks a little bit outdated and not interesting enough. So this new version is here to sort of celebrate the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and of course for next year the Tag Heuer will be official sponsor of Formula One, so we're probably going to see a lot more of these special / limited editions. As far as the case goes, it's made out of grade 2 titanium. It's DLC coated, 39mm by 39mm square case. It's about 12.2mm in case height, but that's because it's featuring an automatic chronograph movement. This one is powered by the caliber Heuer 02. It's a great chronograph movement, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has 33 joules and 80 hours of power reserve. I don't know why, but for some reason I really dig the design of this watch. I like the pink highlights. I think it works well with the sort of DLC coated look to the rest of the case and the dial. That color combination works for me personally. Would I buy this watch? Probably not, but I think it's cool. And the price is 11,000 Swiss francs, and this will be part of the standard catalog. It's not a limited edition. The new Maurice Lacroix Aikon Automatic 39 and 42mm ceramic models. In North America, Maurice Lacroix is not very popular, but when I was in Europe this summer, I saw these watches being sold in a lot of different watch stores. Yes, I'm one of these nerds that actually goes to different watch stores when I'm on vacation. I know, feel very bad for my wife. So these watches are really cool, and I personally am a big fan of this model, the Aikons line. I know a lot of people don't really like them, the integrated bracelet is getting a little overplayed, but I think these ones are pretty cool. And for 2024, they finally came out with the full ceramic version. It's a special ceramic blend that Maurice Lacroix says will be a little bit more durable and more scratch resistant than standard ceramic. Not sure how true that claim is, but nevertheless, it's kind of good to see that they are doing full ceramic cases with full ceramic bracelets. This watch will be available with two different versions, one in full white ceramic, one in full black ceramic. The white one is 39 millimeters, the black one is 42 millimeters in case diameter. They both feature about 11 millimeters in case height, and both versions are powered by exactly the same movement. Is the ML115 caliber movement, which is essentially a Sellita SW200. It has 26 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has about 38 hours of power reserve. Out of the two versions, undoubtedly the black version is my favorite. I think that looks so sharp, especially with the white indexes and the white highlights on the set of hands. I am really tempted to actually buy one of these watches, and who knows, maybe I will in the future. The nice thing about these Maurice Lacroix watches is that they do often go on sale after a few years of release. I mean, it's a nice thing for us as consumers, maybe not so nice for the company themselves, but even at the full retail price, they're not bad. So they're about 3,100 euro for either one of the versions. The new Omega Seamaster 300 diver watches release. During Paris Olympics, Daniel Craig, the actor who plays James Bond, was spotted wearing this mysterious Omega Seamaster 300. And there was a lot of speculation going on about exactly what that watch would be. I actually even mentioned it in one of these videos because, of course, Omega is one of the most popular watch brands, and when they do something special, people pay attention. Now we got the answer to what exactly that watch was. Is the new black dial with the black bezel Seamaster 300. Some of the speculation was correct, other speculation not so much. So first let's talk about the black version. That's the one that Daniel Craig was spotted wearing during Olympics. It features an aluminum bezel insert. A lot of speculation was happening whether it's going to be ceramic bezel or not. So it is an aluminum bezel insert, but it is matted out, so it's not shiny. I think that looks quite sharp. The dial is made out of aluminum, and the case is still made out of stainless steel. Now these watches are still on the larger side, 42 millimeters in diameter, about 13.8 millimeters in case height. They still feature that helium escape valve around 11 o'clock position, not everyone's favorite design feature. And they still have the scalloped bezel design. This watch will be available on a mesh strap or the rubber band. I recommend you get it on the mesh strap. I think that looks really sharp. And actually the other version, the monochrome version, also comes with the mesh strap. Now that version comes with a different dial and a different bezel material. So the bezel on this gray version is actually made out of titanium, and it has raised marks on the bezel. Kind of reminds me of the Yachtmaster. I think that looks also really sharp. That's actually the version that I like more than the black on black version. I think online the consensus is that the black on black version is everyone's favorite, but for me, this gray monochromatic look is actually my favorite. Both versions are powered by the same movement, is the caliber 8806 in-house automatic movement. It is master chronometer certified. It beats at 25,200 vibrations per hour. It has a coaxial escapement, 55 hours of power reserve, and 35 joules. Now this is sort of the lower end version of this movement. There's of course the 8900 version of the movement that's a little bit more high end, but I think Omega is saving those watches for the Planet Ocean releases. They're sort of looking at those as the premium line, and the standard Seamaster 300 meters is the sort of lower end, the introductory diver watch. And the price of this watch reflects that. So on the rubber strap, this watch costs about 5,900 USD. And on the mesh strap, it costs about 6,500 USD. I think overall, not a bad price, and I am a big fan of this release. The Titoni Heritage Chronograph. Another watch brand that's not very popular in North America is Titoni. I actually owned one of these watches, but one of the vintage models that kind of looks like a Datejust, and overall, I am a fan. I think this is one of these underrated watch brands. And now they have this very much vintage-inspired chronograph watch. This watch looks straight out of 1950s, mainly due to that dial design. This one features both the telemeter as well as the tachymeter scale. You also have the markings for every 5-minute increments, and of course you have the markings for the hours. So there's a lot going on this dial, on top of having the 2 subdials for the chronograph function, as well as the date window at the 6 o'clock position. To a lot of people, this will appear too busy, but I personally find them very charming. I also like the case dimensions on this watch: 41mm case diameter, 15.2mm case height. It's a bit on the thicker side, but of course this one is an automatic chronograph movement. It's powered by the Sellita SW510BHA. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has 27 joules and 58 hours of power reserve. One of the best things about this watch is the price point. So these ones are priced at about $27.75 USD. The new Bremont Supermarine 300M GMT Collection. I reviewed one of the Bremont watches a long time ago, and I was somewhat impressed with the build quality. They're competent watches, just overpriced. And this new GMT model is no different. It comes in a stainless steel case, 40mm diameter by about 13mm in case height. They're about 48mm lug-to-lug distance. They have 300 meters of water resistance, which is very impressive, and they're powered by the caliber BE-93-2AV, which is essentially a Sellita SW330-2 automatic movement. It's an office style movement, so it's not a traveler GMT, it's a desk GMT as they're known. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has 25 joules and about 50 hours of power reserve. So what's so disappointing about this watch? I think number one, the design is kind of safe. It just looks like if I erase the logo from this dial, you would not be able to tell who designed this watch. The bracelet is also kind of very similar to a bracelet from a Breitling. The case kind of looks a little bit like the Formex GMT. So there's a mesh of different designs going on here. It looks okay, but not my favorite. The green version is the standard version that will be part of the catalog. The blue version is limited to 500 pieces and the red version is limited to 200 pieces. And the price, as I mentioned, is quite steep. It's 4,600 euro on the stainless steel bracelet. Yeah, that's way too much for a Sellita based movement, especially from a brand like Bremont. They're not exactly a household name, so I don't know what they're thinking. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this Bremont and what do you think about all the watches mentioned in this review or in this recap, I guess. I always enjoy reading your comments. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.